What's up, Victoria? It's me, Zara Larsson, and today I'm going to be doing a recreation of a makeup look that Zara Larsson wore on her Midnight Sun tour. Her makeup artist that she has on this tour is named Sophia Sinot, or Sinot. I'm not really sure how to fully pronounce the name, but I will make sure to link her Instagram down below and Zara Larsson's Instagram down below. If you don't know who Zara Larsson is, she is a Swedish pop singer. She's been in the music scene for quite some time now, but this most recent album of hers kind of pushed her into more popularity. So you might not be familiar with her because I know some of my audience can skew a little bit older. I know that younger people, especially queer people, probably know who she is, but I just want to bring in and clue in some of the other people who just might not know. The song Midnight Sun is really incredible and I highly recommend you checking it out. It's one of the best pop songs that was released this year. Zara's really pretty and I just think it's really cool that she's doing these really fun makeup looks on her tour. Anyway, we're gonna do this makeup look together, but I want to say a few things before we jump into the video. Make sure you subscribe if you are new to me. I would love for you to stick around. We're going to be using stuff that was already in my makeup collection. I did not go out and buy anything to recreate this look, and I highly encourage you to not to do that either. If you want to recreate something, just use the tools you have, and it might not be perfect or an exact replica of the look that you're trying to recreate, but it will challenge you and you will learn a lot, and that's kind of what happened here. So I hope you will consider subscribing. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships, so you can find them in the description box if you're into that sort of thing. Don't forget to like this video and hype it, and I also will have a pinned comment. There will be links to support people who need your help right now, or if you only have time, donate to a local cause in your area. That's free to do. Okay, let me jump back in time and show you how we got this started. I just fill up all of this and now I have to pee. We're really going to be putting on the makeup today, which is not something I'm like always doing. Like I'm always like putting makeup on, but we're like putting on makeup. Sometimes you ask me to do, so here we are. Here's the thing about me doing this kind of makeup is that I enter a flow state sometimes. So I'm going to try to remember to tell you what I'm doing. So I have this image pulled up. We're going to start with the eyes. And the reason I want to start with the eyes is because there is a wing and I want to be able to clean up the wing. I pulled out for the eyeshadows I'm going to use is from Bella Beauté Bar. This is their Realm of Fairies palette. We're doing like really Y2K silvery on the eyes. They might be a little more like purpley periwinkle blues, but I'm hoping to just use this in this shade in this palette. This palette was received in PR. For eyeshadow primer, I'm going to use the Urban Decay eyeshadow stick in the shade Blurred Out. Also, just keep in mind, I'm using what I have in my makeup collection to make this work for me, and I highly encourage if you are trying to recreate any makeup, whether it be a makeup look that I do or when you're trying to like copy off of a celebrity, always try to use what you have first. Don't look at the products that the makeup artist used. Just look at your makeup collection. You might have to make some tweaks and like some allowances for some of the colors, but overall you should be able to do something pretty comparable. So that's my advice to you. And we're doing a lot of things I just don't usually do. So if I end up in that flow state, we're just really gonna forgive it. So one thing to note before we even start, I'm just like taking in Zara Larsson's face right now. So my eyes kind of droop down on the end, but it is also the illusion of the wing pulling her eye up. But it does look like her eyes might already kind of pull up like that a little bit. Not a lot of lash, but I maybe just can't see it. I'm not gonna do falsies, and I'm also not gonna put eyebrows on. This is an interpretation on my face. I'm gonna do as much of it as like close as I can to it, but Zara Larsson and I don't have the same shaped face. I would also bet that this makeup artist, if they were reinterpreting this makeup on me, they wouldn't do it beat for beat what they did with Zara Larsson. Leave that on the lids, and then I'm gonna set that just so everything blends a little bit easier. I really wanted to use this instead of my other primer because this blanks out my skin just like a little bit more than that one does. I am actually just going to take this powder puff and what's left on it and press that in. So to me, it looks like there's like a slight bit of a halo eye, but there's a lot of makeup happening in this look, which is very fun. Oh, I need my brushes. A surprise to me that I need my brushes. Oh, I need my brushes. So the blue kind of goes all the way up through the crease, but it gets less dense like in the center, like a halo eye. Then the silver is on the lid and on the brow bone. I will put silver on my brow bone, but it won't, like, obviously we're losing the shape of the brow in that, but that's okay. I don't care. And I also will probably, because her eyebrow is kind of like cutting off the blush, I'm going to take the blush further and blend it in with that silver, and the blush might kind of come around my eye a little bit more severely than what Zara does, even though it's already kind of a severe look. The one thing I'm worried about, and let's circle back to this footage at the end when I'm editing, if I remember, she has blush on her nose. I've tried to recreate looks with blush on the nose and I always forget to do it. It's just like not something I've ever gotten in the habit of doing, and I have like nose blush blindness. Okay, tell me why I'm nervous. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a big fluffy brush. I'm basically gonna garage door my eyes, I think, with this light blue. And if you are following along and you happen to have this palette, it's the shade Silver Mist. And so I'm just gonna press that. Yeah, that's gonna work. Well, it's like this look is really icy and this palette is very icy, but I'm gonna just really put this all over. And the shape is going to go kind of like out past, like further out because of the wing. So I just have to make sure to account for that. Sometimes when I'm like doing makeup and I think I'm doing it differently, I find that this part of like the corner of my eye like is always like the hardest part for me to really feel like I've done well. And I want to start with the mattes and then go from there. And then I might need to find a matte white because I think I want to put a matte white on the brow bone underneath the sheen because it does look like it's white and has sheen. But all of my highlighter shades, I think, there's a sheerness to them. That's such a vibe though. You could just put this on your lids and what a vibe. Mostly just like packing it onto the lid and then blending out the edges, which also doesn't really matter because we're also going to put foundation on the rest of the face in a moment. Today has felt incredibly chaotic and I'm really unsure. The vibe has been weird today and we'll see how the night ends. I'm hoping that it doesn't end in tragedy, but there's a non-zero chance that it will end in tragedy. Did I use that phrase right? Sometimes I say stuff and I'm like, I don't know that I said that right. We're not to that part yet. I do have stones, but we're going to save the stones for the end. And also my stones aren't blue. I didn't like buy anything for this. I just happen to have stones. If I didn't have the stones on hand, I would have just, you know, forgone the stones completely. And the only reason I have stones is because I got them, I got them in PR forever ago and I just haven't had a reason to use them. And here's the reason. God, this blue is really pretty. And then I'm going to do the darker blue on the edge of my eye and pull it out a little bit so it goes up with the wing a little bit, and then also a little bit on the inner corner. It's not a super severe halo eye, but her inner corner is darker than the center of the lid. I feel like we're so used to like halo eyes being like a super obvious thing, but this is quite a subtle take on it. I feel like when we did halo eyes, there was also such like a high contrast to the shades. I'm going into the shade Weeping Willow. And it's like a little bit of a contrast. Like I didn't go into a navy. It's still a light blue. Kind of keep it right here and pull it up. And then I'm going to want a bigger concentration of it just packed right here. But I don't want to get the blend too dark. And then I'll clean up down there. And I'm going to probably bounce back and forth a bit just to make sure this blend is pristine. I think I need a smaller brush. I'm gonna get an angle brush. I'm gonna still blend it out, but I just need something a little bit smaller. My eyes are kind of small. It's like they're both big and small. I don't know how to describe that, but that's how I feel about the shape of my eyes, the size of my eye. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like, my eye's not as angular as Zara Larsson does. This is such a weird thing to say, but her eye is quite angular. Everything I'm saying about Zara Larsson's anatomy is being said neutrally. It's not like good nor bad. It's an observation. And whenever you're like recreating makeup like this, it's all observational. Start with the inner corner on this eye. I'm really liking the way this is coming along. I feel like this whole look is gonna be something that will really take shape once all the finishing touches are on, and I think it's gonna feel perhaps a little wobbly in the meantime. This little brush is from Glaminatrix. It's their EO8. I got this in PR. I don't think they sell these as singles. I like these brushes if you were interested in them. I don't like love all this shape, but this one is quite handy. I love, because my eyes are small and my eyes are hooded, sometimes that can come in handy. Oh, there's rhinestones on her lid too. I don't have any lash glue because I don't wear false lashes. I do have silver rhinestones from when I went to see Marina and I could have just glued those on my eyes, but I don't think I have anything to use as an alternative. I'll speed through some things if I'm not speaking. I'm gonna try to like not cut anything. Like we'll just kind of zoom through at different speeds so that you can see my blending and you can see me sitting here and thinking and tinkering. And her waterline and tightline are done with what looks to be black to me. I don't think it's an espresso. Everything's so cool toned. I'm like looking at an Instagram photo, so the photo is not real high res, but I have it really zoomed in so I can try to make out what's going on. So I'm gonna use this black Victoria Beckham eyeliner. Now I'm gonna be doing a wing, and I will not be talking through it. I don't particularly like doing wings on camera. And cleaning up a wing is so much easier if there's like nothing else going on. Pulled out a couple different brushes. I have only done one wing with this, but it wasn't with a gel eyeliner, which I'm going to be using the one from Trixie Cosmetics. Trixie does send me PR. Trixie Cosmetics, the brand, sends me PR. I have the black shade, but I did buy the black shades. That's what I'm going to be using for this wing. I'm probably going to use all of these brushes in some format. I have a couple angle brushes, a small brush, so this is what we're working with brush-wise. The PR, this Anastasia one I bought forever ago. The Refer one was PR. Yeah, so all the brushes are PR except for the Anastasia one. I might pop in and out of frame in this fast forward of this. I'm trying my best. I really like to do my wings with my elbow on the table because I find that it steadies me a little bit. Now, I think I'll still be in frame, but I'm not making any promises as to being in frame. Okay, I'm gonna get started on this. I don't think I need to do any cleanup. This is from Andromeda. I don't think that they sold these, but like they came if you bought the whole collection from Andromeda's Club. I got this in PR. These are from Diva Rune. I don't know that Diva Rune actually like sells face gems outside of like this experience. So the silver, we're really gonna have to like go for silver. And when I'm looking in this palette, I think we might need to go into another palette for a silver. These all have like a bluish hue to them. And while that is a blue silver, maybe Reflection is maybe. It's not looking as opaque as the silver in that one. So I'm gonna rack my brain because I kind of want something really sparkly since I'm foregoing rhinestones on the lid. Zara, can you feel them when you open your eye? I've only ever done stones on like the perimeter and like in less mobile places on my face. So I feel like that would drive me nuts to have like them on there. Do I want to adjust the mounts before I do anything? else? I don't know. I think we're really like cooking with gas so far. Maybe like a little more of the blue. I think I want like a little more of the deeper one. Kind of like coming up a little bit more. And then kind of connecting. Just really kind of dramatizing that a little bit more. Yeah, I think I like that. Just a little more dramatized. Okay, I like that a lot better. The silver I decided on is the shade Delicate from the Glaminatrix Timeless Tones palette. And then I'm also gonna put something else on top of it. I'm gonna put a little bit of glitter primer down because depending on how this evening goes, I wonder if this would be sticky enough for the gems. Maybe we'll try it. We'll try it. Why not? We're playing around with makeup. Oh yeah, I still need it for my eyelids. This is the Farinay Pixie Epoxy. I don't think it will be sticky enough for rhinestones. Okay, I quite like this silver. I think it's like the perfect silver for this. I do want to put a matte white on my brow bone. The shade Imperial from the Ellis Atlantis Imperial palette with Blend Bunny. Maybe I'm going in with calcified instead. Neither one is a pure white. Although, never mind. I'm going in with a pure Imperial. And then I'm just going to take some of the shimmer on my finger. Let me go get those rhinestones. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to take some of the Pixie Epoxy and put some of it down on the mixing palette. And then I'm going to like take the rhinestone and try to get some of that glue on the back. I mean, I'm not going to work out or anything in this afterwards, so I think that's going to work. This is like the Half Magic tool to apply rhinestones, in case you were wondering. This is crazy behavior. I don't know that my placement is the best. And I also am realizing that the gemstones on her face are much smaller than these. We're working with what we have. I'm now realizing just like how small those gems were, but let's move on to complexion. It's still cool though. I'm feeling like I'm doing drag, honey. She's in drag. She's feeling her puss. She's in drag, honey. I'm gonna prime my face just with the Victoria Beckham Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer. Her makeup looks kind of matte. I'm gonna have to mostly probably do that with powdering, but this doesn't end up making anything too glowy. So it like moisturizes the skin and gives a slight glow, but not like anything that I think would like inhibit the final result of this look. So for concealer today, we're gonna start with concealer. I was trying to find my lightest concealer that I had, like lightest color. This might be it. This is the VIEVE concealer in the shade Light 1. I have a lighter shade of concealer, but I don't like the way it performs under my eyes. Also, having rhinestones on my eyelids is actually something that I think will make me freak out. We're gonna persist. And I'm just gonna apply that under my eyes. Oh, also the Victoria Beckham concealer is like lighter and brighter than this, but it doesn't have enough coverage. It was really just trying to find the perfect middle ground. So I'm not gonna try to get completely clean under the wing with the concealer, because there is in this picture a little bit of blue that comes through, but she also might have done the complexion first. She's a professional makeup artist, I'm not, so we're doing what we can. And I also bet she used a liquid liner for the wing. I'm just not that brave and that bold. I'm gonna also cover up some of my redness. We need like full coverage here. And I'm gonna actually immediately start setting that with a bake of the Wet n Wild powder. Hers is like more of a stark white, but all of my powders have a pinkish hue to them. And hopefully baking my under eye will also provide a little more brightness than this concealer wants to offer on its own volition. I'm also gonna put this on my nose. And I'm gonna start setting that too with the bake. Same powder. Okay, and while that's baking, we're gonna do like literally everything else on my face. So for foundation, I'm gonna use the Soft Lit foundation from Fenty. I'm gonna be using the shade 125. Powder my whole face. I'm not gonna bake my whole face, I'm just gonna leave the bake for the under eye, but we'll be using mostly powder products on the cheeks today, which is kind of a rare occurrence for me. I do have a couple cream products I'm gonna pull into the mix. They work well over powder, so we're not gonna really have any issues. I think there. I think the first thing I wanna do is contour. She is quite contoured on the cheek, and she has bronzer like all the way across her forehead. Everything is cool tone on her face, but her contour isn't very cool toned. So I'm gonna use Omen from Rituel de Fille for all of my contouring today. I usually use a lighter contour on my cheek, but I'm going to use this one. And it kind of actually looks, she's contoured quite high, which is like already kind of what I do. I'm gonna like round it out a little bit right there. Obviously I'm not trying to like do Zara Larsson impersonation, but I can contour like a little bit. I'm also gonna put a little bit of bronzer on too, so that will also chisel a little bit. I might do my bronzer with an angle brush, which I don't usually do. I'm not really worried about if her jaw is chiseled. I just want to do it for mine. And then for bronzer, I'm going to actually use the Gucci bronzer for a little more warmth. In the shade 1, Fair 1, whatever the fair shade is in the Gucci bronzer. For blush today, we're doing like layering. So I'm going to start with Baby as the base, and this is from Trixie Cosmetics. And I did buy this, but like I said earlier in the video, I do get PR from Trixie Cosmetics. We're doing blush draping, honey. And we're going to put another powder blush on top of this, but we're just setting this down as the base because the other blush, while pretty, is a little more sheer and also just like going back to my roots. Let's do more blush. Like, why not more? Also, this blush is a little more lavender-y than the blush that she's wearing. Hers is more blue, but the blush I'm going to put on top of this one is a little more blue. And I think the thing is, I don't have like a magenta blush like what she's wearing. It's just in my arsenal, so we're making do with some of the shades that I have, which is kind of the whole purpose of this video. So this is definitely more blush draping, but this is also kind of just how I wear my blush, even if it is less visible when I usually do it. This is like usually my blush placement, which I'm grateful for. I think that's good for that blush. The thing about doing these looks, and I've complained about this every time I do one of these looks on camera, is that just, I'm not a professional makeup artist with like my very organized cleanup system. Like a good makeup artist would like a working makeup artist would it would not, the way that my counter looks right now is insane. Okay, now on top of that, I'm gonna layer Barbe Papa from SURRATT. This was PR from SURRATT a long time ago. And we are just gonna focus most of the actual initial contact back here and then just blend it out in both directions. This is shimmery. It looks like her blush is matte. Bending the rules here. Do you see how much more intense that one is? Right at the temple? Because hers is more intense at the temple as well. It's actually quite intense on the cheek too, so maybe I'll cut it down a little bit as well. Gorgeous. My nose. I need to kick off the bake. And then for highlighter, she's wearing like an icy blue highlighter. Is what it looks like to me. I don't have anything like that. I have the Dexter highlighter, but I've not worn that over top of powder. So I'm not gonna risk it for the biscuit. Ghost Light from Ritual to Thief first. And then this highlighter from Pat McGrath that's really old called Iridescent Pink. And I'm gonna layer that on top of it. So the cream should intensify the pink in that. So not icy silver, but I think a real similar idea. Let's go back into the eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna do a little bit of blue, the darker blue, smudged along the bottom lash line, because it looks like that's what's going on there. Kind of to bring it all together, because I don't really do like this drop shadow very often, or I used to do it a lot. And I do think it really like can bring a look together, especially a look this intense, because sometimes if you're doing the most on the top part of your lids and you don't meet the bottom where it's at, it's like too much. Her inner corner is quite highlighted. I'm going to use the shade Moonstone from the Sassy Fairy palette. It's a little too blue. Now I'm just going to start placing these gemstones. These are purple. They're not blue. I know that. We'll see if I can figure out some good placements for these. I don't think these are small enough either, but we'll give it a go. I'm gonna give it the college try. I'm gonna do the inner corner first. Okay, I'm gonna call it here for the gems. I think I have enough of them on my face. Mine are much bigger than those ones. So my placement's a little bit odd, and you never realize how asymmetrical you are until you start doing stuff like this. And you're like, this side of my face isn't shaped the same as the other side of my face. But I really like the way it's looking. I need to put mascara on, which is like, I meant to do that before I started doing all of this, but I'm gonna throw that on real quick. I'm using the SURRATT Relevée mascara. I'm gonna mattify this look a little bit more with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Spray. Zara has a pretty glamorous pink nudie lip on, so that's what I'm gonna try to recreate. I'm going to use maybe some vampier colors. I'm gonna be using the Cherry Chip Lip Liner from Trixie Cosmetics. This was PR. And then I'm going to put the shade Glamour, also from Trixie Cosmetics, also PR. Okay, that was the wrong thing. I'm gonna wipe that off. I think the lip liner will stay on. I'm gonna retouch up this lip liner. I'm gonna use Baby from Merit as we pivot. And she has what I'm assuming is a clear lip gloss on top. My lip's a little bit darker than what she has. I don't have a lot of stuff like that. So I have a sparkly version of the Edam Lip Chouchou. It's in the shade Croissant de Beurre. And I'm going to squeeze some of that out onto my mixing palette. This has a little bit of shimmer particle in it, but it's mostly clear. I'm gonna do my hair, I'm gonna change my clothes, and then we'll come back to wrap up this video. And that is how I recreated the Zara Larsson makeup look by Sophia Sinote. Or Sino. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new to my channel and you would like to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button right now. While you're down there, don't forget to hit the like button and the hype feature if you have it. Make sure you hype this video. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. Those are linked in my description box down below. Make sure you check out that pinned comment to support people who need your help right now. And I think that's gonna be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your hot and you'll find me. I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth. Tits out.